You guys, hi, it's me, Mother. It's me, Satan. Welcome to hell. I saved you a seat. Welcome back to Talking Schmitt. I am your host, Brittany Schmitt, and I am so excited to be here with you guys. What has been going on in my life? I just got back from Vegas. You guys, I don't know why I've been going to Vegas kind of a lot lately. I know why. My boyfriend loves to gamble. Yeah, he loves to gamble. He loves to win, doesn't love to lose. Unfortunately, we took a little bit of an L this week. We weren't there for a week. We were there for 2 days. We went with his family, his wonderful family. We went and saw the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, which was so cool. It was such an experience. For those of you who haven't been to Vegas, don't know about the Sphere. It's the Sphere. You don't know about Sphere. You don't know about spear fishing. Let me tell you about the Sphere. The Sphere. They do interactive movie screenings. I think the only one they're doing now is the Wizard of Oz, which is what we saw. And it was really so special and so incredible. And yeah, Vegas is just, Vegas is Vegas. I've been over Vegas for a while. I can't say it the right way. It's Vegas, welcome to Las Vegas. For some reason I say Vegas. Everyone hates it. I hate it. I wish I could never go back. I don't like gambling. I don't like losing. Anytime I lose like $100, I'm like, you know what I could have done with $100? We take out like a little bit of money that we're like in our minds we're okay with losing, but I'm never okay with losing any money. If I want to lose money, I'll go shopping. If I want to lose money, this is how I think about shopping too. I'm like, when I go shopping and I go online shopping and I don't like something and I get to return it, that's a win. That's how I win my money in life. I win my money back, which I know it's just a little bit, it's still losing, but in my mind it's winning, and that's girl math. But yeah, I'm here. I'm back in LA for a short period of time, and then I leave to go to New York, and then we're going to Italy, you guys. I'm so excited. I am going to Tuscany for a wellness retreat, which, Mr. Manhattan booked for me to say congratulations for my comedy special that I shot. And I'm just so excited. I've never taken a trip like this before, where it's just going to be like massages and facials and lymphatic drainage and a workout, like a trainer. And it's just going to be really, really nice. I'm excited to see Italy in fall. I'm excited to see the foliage. I'm excited to tell you guys about it. But I am on the run. And for those of you who are looking to come see me live, my dates are going to start again in January. And let me pull those up actually, so I can tell you guys where I'm going to be and when. And I should have had these pulled up already, but I don't, because I'm not a professional. I'm just a girl. Okay, you guys, this is my schedule. Okay, January 7th, I'm going to be in Portland, Oregon, at the Helium Comedy Club. January 8th, I'm going to be in Seattle, Washington. January 27th, I'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina. January 28th, I will be in Austin, Texas. January 30th, wait a minute. You guys, this is so funny. Okay, so the 24th of January, I'm actually hosting the AVN Awards in Vegas, which is crazy. I'll be back in Vegas. But for those of you who don't know what the AVN Awards are, it's the porn awards. So excited. As someone who watches no porn, I'm so excited to see everyone in their element getting their awards. I have no idea what hosting that is going to be like, but I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be fun. OnlyFans introduced me to the people over at AVN, the AVN Awards, and they booked me to host, and I think it's going to be a really fun time. So I don't anticipate any of you guys will be tuning in for that, but if you want to watch Mama Bear host the porn awards and insult some porn stars, go. I think you can stream it.
Yes.
Yes. No, literally, I was going back and forth about the job. I didn't know if I wanted to take it or not. And my boyfriend was like, you're taking the job. You're doing this for us. You're putting the team on your fucking back right now. And also one of my dear friends, Trevor, who lives out in Vegas, him and his girlfriend have always wanted to go. So we're all going to go. We're going to have a great night. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I have another show in January. I am filming a Don't Tell special taping in San Francisco. It's just a short little set, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So I will see you there. So yeah, Mama Bear is hosting the porn awards. Listen, I had a porn addiction, and so I had to stop watching porn. When I was really deep in my alcoholism, one of my cures for a hangover was feverishly masturbating. This is how crazy I was. I would be driving home from somewhere in the morning, hungover, and I would like masturbate in my car because I'm like, oh, like if I get a nut, I'll be able to like push all the demons out of me. And then that really turned into something dark. And I started like missing work and just watching porn all the time. And it was honestly, 2012 was a rough year for your girl. She had a little bit of a porn addiction. She had other addictions. She was in jail. I wasn't a shining star of a human being. So listen, we all grow and we all change, and we can start somewhere and be abhorrent and the worst version of ourselves, and then we grow and we change and we learn and we look back at that version of ourselves with love, but also like, what the fuck were you actually doing? And I am so excited for this episode, especially to talk about change and growth and the evolution of us, as people, both in and out of sobriety. Our guest today is one of my dear friends and someone who is completely unrecognizable from what the world may know her as. Her name is Alexis Haines, formerly Alexis Nyers, formerly she might have done the bling ring. But the woman I know today is so strong and such a pillar of strength both in and out of the sobriety community. She has dedicated her entire life to rehabilitation and helping people recover. And, she kind of bottomed out in the spotlight and has grown so much from it. She has 14 years sober, and she is somebody that I've been working with both with sex and love addiction and my own journey with sobriety. And she's been so kind and so gracious and so generous with me. And she has just been such a soft place for me to land whenever I fall. And she is one of the most insightful, strong, powerful women that I am honored to call a friend. And I really hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I did. Please, 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 please enjoy my conversation with Alexis Haines. Oh my God. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Very good.
Tell me all your secrets.
Oh God, going right for the jugular. Biggie's
Literally.
like, I'm out of here.
He's like, I don't want to hear any of this.
Please let me leave. Yeah. I hear you two enough.
Literally.
I'm just going to go sit over here by myself.
It's like my mom's yapping again.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm really good. I'm happy to be here. I think that, the outline that you sent me was really refreshing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing. You have a past that everyone won't stop talking about.
Yeah.
But the person that I know now, like, it's not that person. No, shut up. I'll fight you. I'll fist fight you.
Brittany doesn't get emotional ever. Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes. No, I do. I mean, I just really think the world of you. Like, I really, when I met you at such a crucial time in my life because I was struggling so much with love addiction. Mm-hmm. And my sponsor at the time didn't have any clue about that. She was just helping me with, my alcoholism. And when I would go to her and be really upset about this boy that I hung out with 4 times, but he like broke my heart and I was in the blender. She's like, wait, you hung out 4 times? She's like, get over it. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. She doesn't understand the pain and suffering that comes at once.
Literally.
Right? By like getting that hit of oxytocin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the most addictive thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes when drug addicts, alcoholics, whatever, they quit using that thing, this other thing pops up, which is love addiction. What is your experience with that?
I mean, listen, like, this, I've shared this with you. Like, I'm the type of alcohol, like, I have the ism in every area of my life. Mm-hmm. Like, I was in Alateen from the time I was 12 because
What's Alateen?
Al-Anon, but for teenagers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I was like being asked to do the work long before I was ready to do the work.
Right.
I'll just be totally candid. And I haven't talked a lot about my sexual abuse history. Mm-hmm. But I had sex and love issues because I was being sexually abused my whole childhood. Mm. You know what I mean? Fuck. So like my concept of like love, if you want to get silly.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's get silly right after that. She's like, if you want to get silly after we talk about being sexually abused as a child.
Like, people ask me, when did it begin? When I was 4, when I was being forced to like give blowjobs at 4 years old. Like, that's really when it started. Like, and that makes horrific. It makes people uncomfortable. And it's funny because like I'll joke with partners and they'll be like, you're really good at that. And I'm like, thanks, been doing it since I was a toddler. And like, nobody laughs. I laugh. I can laugh now. Right. Like, I've totally healed, and we can talk about like what it takes to heal all of that so that way your nervous system no longer is triggered by hearing that. I don't believe in trigger warnings. I think that we're raising a generation that is absolutely fucked. There's therapists. I work in behavioral health care now, and like there's therapists who are in school asking for trigger warnings. I'm sorry, then you have no business being a fucking therapist. Right. You know? Literally. So my sex and love issues, like my value, my inherent value, my perception of my value was skewed from a very early age. And my connection of love and the safest people, closest people to me that were doing these harmful things, right? Like, my perception got really skewed. Right. So there's that. So there's the trauma aspect of that. Right. And then I also just have the ism. Like, I'll become an addict of anything, of overworking out, of over shopping, of overeating, of undereating, of whatever it might be, because like that is my modus operandi, you know? And so in the big book, when it says like men and women drink essentially because we like the effect, and you know this because when I work the sloth through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's like men and women engage in relationships, men and women engage in shopping and sex and love and whatever because we like the effect. And then what happens is this feeling is so elusive for some of us. We get so hooked in on the vibes and the energy and the delulu and the fantasy, right? And the limerence of like creating a person that doesn't exist. I mean, delicious. And then we have sex and it's even better. Yes. And whatever, that we can no longer differentiate true from false. He wants the same things that I want. She wants the same things that I want, right? And then all of a sudden, those things aren't aligning. Arguments start. Right? Discourse. We're meeting that like wall. And the wall is actually just who the person actually is and was the whole time. And it just, the wall that we're hitting against is our fantasy of the person that we've created in our head. And then they're showing us, hey, I'm not that person. And then we don't believe that because we're so addicted to how they made us feel and how we envision them being for the rest of our lives and in the next lifetime. You know what I mean? No, like, 100%. And like, we're going to die together. Like next to each other in the grave. Like, this is the way that it's going to be. I mean, I would have like fundamental differences with people, like real differences that would be huge issues in any sort of relationship, and I would overlook them. And I just was like, that's my man. I don't know what to do about the fact he hasn't called me in 6 weeks. He just is out there meeting other girls to find out that I'm the one. It's like the delusion is so deep. But it's extraordinarily painful. And like, I met you at a time period in your life, like I had just come out of almost 3 years of like intensive work on sex and love issues when I met Brittany, and a mutual friend of ours who introduced us. And I was just coming out of it, and the two of them were like we were in it together. We were hand in hand going into the pits of hell with our sex and love addiction. That is actually what bonded us, was that we were both so chaotic and so crazy in the same ways with relationships. We're like, you know, she was talking to somebody who was married with a family and was like, no, this is going to be the love of my life. I'm going to get her out of this house and I'm going to help her raise her kids. And I'm just like, and then I met like the final boss of crazy, who has a full documentary about how insane he is. And I was like, I can fix him. I think he's just that bad because he hasn't met me yet. And then I met you right after I got chewed up and spit out after that. And I was like, I need help. And I think I scared you a little at first because I was no, nothing scares me. Nothing. The shit that I hear in people's fifth steps, I mean, nothing scares me. But what I'll tell you, or to date, nothing scared me. What I'll tell you is that, I mean, I think that, you know, and the therapist will call it attachment issues and whatever name that you want to get it. But I think that so few people on this planet in general have done any work at all on themselves.
Well,
Like, do not understand their past, their present, the way that they're operating that is maladaptive or otherwise. Like, I think that most people operate on automatic pilot, are driven by a sense of fear, insecurity, pleasure, dopamine, whatever. Like, don't know how to be mindful, don't know how to check in with themselves, don't know how to like reality test. And so, I mean, it's no wonder to me that the divorce rate is as high as it is. You know, I don't think people know themselves.
No, because it's so much easier to not. It's so much easier once you get thrust into this world and you do start drinking or using or shopping or whatever, all those things that you were saying earlier, those are all things that we do to just keep ourselves from ourselves. Like, just so we don't have to look at ourselves, so we don't have to feel anything. So the thing that we're feeling, we're trying to control it. It's like, I want to feel good, so I'm going to buy these shoes that I want. And then you want the shoes and you bought the shoes and then the shoes were too expensive and now you feel bad and then you start to spiral and then you go into shame and then you need something else to make you feel good. So you're like, I'm going to go have sex with this guy who doesn't really like me. And that feels good while he's like...
And I'm going to wear the shoes.
And I'm going to wear the shoes in bed. Yeah. And that feels good while it's happening. And then he doesn't call you back. And then you spiral again. And then it's just like, it's kind of just this like snake eating its tail of how we all go through the world.
And again, like, this is why I work the big book. And I know that like it's controversial if people should talk about this or not, but like that is my Bible.
Yeah.
This is the perfect example of this, is that, you know, we're all to some degree flailing through life. And when you have a dysregulated nervous system and when you're feeling like you're flailing, people seek control. And they seek control typically in all sorts of dysfunctional ways. And most of them are unaware that they're doing said thing. Right. And so it's the example of the director, right? Everyone thinks that they're the director of the show. If only this happens, and if this happens, and if they say this thing, and if I get this, and if I do, then everything will be okay. And don't you know that you should just show up here the way that I want you to show up here every single day? And if you don't show up, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and then the second that one thing or those things don't start operating in the way that you want it to operate, right? We do a couple of things. One is we seek more control. We become more demanding or gracious or manipulative or kind or loving or sexy
to get what we want
or whatever, right? But we're doing it out of a place of resentment, right? Or we just, you know, spiral and implode and whatever else. And it's just not a sustainable way of operating. And so I think that for you, what I noticed was really a lot of that. It's just like, I feel out of control. I need a sense of control. Doing this thing brings me control. It makes me feel powerful and empowered until it stops.
But that's like everything. I mean, I feel like I've lived enough life to now know that like if I want things a certain way and I get them, even if I get them, I'm not happy.
No, you're never satisfied.
Something new comes up. It's like it just keeps moving. It keeps shifting.
The target keeps going.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I just think it's, you know, it's so funny because it's like, I know intellectually, I know that control is the root of all suffering, or the illusion of control is the root of all suffering, or trying to hold on to something that's it's always in motion is going to make you miserable. I know that. But there's a big difference between how I know I should act and how I act. Like a big one. And I feel like even in this new relationship that I have, it's showing up. You know, I'm like, how much work have I done on myself in this area? How many times have I journaled or wrote shit down, tried to figure out like why I'm acting like this? How many times have I wrote down all the things I want to let go of and burned the piece of paper under a full moon to let go of it? And then it comes back. And I feel like that's like happening again a little bit in this relationship because it's new and I'm scared and I want control and I don't want it to ever leave because love feels so good. But it's all just like, it's a mess and help me.
Yeah. Okay. So sponsor talk.
Yeah.
I mean, two things. Like, okay, so like we become aware of our defects of character, of the way that we operate by doing inventory and looking at ourselves thoroughly and not holding back at these patterns and behaviors. And like in my experience, there's really only two things that like keep me out of my own way. Because I'll get in my own. I just had a conversation with you the other day where I was like, my sponsors checked me so fucking hard, so fucking hard. But the second that she did, I had that perspective shift, and all of a sudden, like, the clouds parted and I became so grateful. And like, in my experience, there's really only like, if my mind could fix my mind, you know, I've told you this a million times, if my mind, like, if I could just do enough journaling and enough burning the papers and enough saging and enough book reading to get well, then one, I would be a normie, and two, like, that would be great.
And a normie, for those of you who don't know, is somebody without
addiction,
all the issues,
love addiction issues, sex addiction issues, codependency, addiction, whatever you want to call it, any processing disorders.
A normie is just someone having a real nice life.
Yeah. I don't know.
Blissfully unaware.
But what I will tell you is that, like, if my mind had enough power to fix my mind, then I would be a normie. I wouldn't be an alcoholic addict, sex and love addict. Like, I wouldn't be those things. And so, like, there's only two things that can fix is God and service. And like, I know that you have a big enough God right now to say, God, like, I welcome you into this relationship. Like, I am fully surrendered. Like, have this relationship, whether it works out or it doesn't, you know, and that's so hard too. And, you know, like, for me, I have a daughter who's 12 and we are going through preteen hormones. Oh my God. The shit that I'm dealing with in my house right now is, I'm holding on for dear life, but oftentimes I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, God, do it. Like, bringing God into the relationship. And so I think that, like, the spiritual practice of whatever, like, just the surrender. You just said control is the root of all of my issues. And so so you notice, oh, I have all of these issues, but now I'm going to try to control myself to fix the issue. Like, do you see the faulty thinking in that? Like, okay, I'm just going to try to control my mouth or control my actions.
Because then I'm trying to behave the way that I think I should behave. And then it causes this internal chaos where I'm not okay.
And then you're stepping on his toes because that eventually implodes. And then he responds. And then you end up bitter and resentful because you're not getting the response that you want. And then you're on the hamster wheel. It doesn't work. And so the only thing that I will tell you is, like, okay, like, God, I literally give you this relationship. Like, help me in these areas. I'm super clear that I can be. What are your top two struggles?
Insecurity.
I'm super clear, God, that I can be insecure. Help me to see that, like, that I am made perfectly in your image and that I am worthy of a good relationship because I'm a good woman. And these are the reasons why. Okay. So insecurity.
And I think just fear. It's the fear of it going away. It's like when you're like, I've been alone for 3 years and I started to get lonely and I started to want companionship and now I have it and I'm like, and I'm holding on to it like the bar of soap, and you hold on too tight and it pops out, and you hold out too loose and it falls out. Anyway, the soap just goes in someone's ass in prison, and that's where it belongs. Yeah.
No, and I get that too, but like,
the soap doesn't go in the ass. But the soap falls on the floor.
And like, and then you have the opportunity to either, like, leave it or pick it up again. Like, you know, I'm sure you had that same feeling when you and Chris got divorced.
I did.
Like, God, don't take this thing away from me. And now you're like, God, thank God you took this thing away from me. As a woman who's also been divorced after 10 years of marriage, it was the same thing. Dear God, why? Yeah. Why is this happening to me? Yeah. I don't want this to happen. And the more that I just was like, okay, like, I just have to have faith, the more that I started to see the miracles unfold in my life. And I will say this, like, no amount of you clenching onto this relationship is going to make it work better for you.
No, I know.
And in fact, it's actually going to make it worse.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. There's like this cognitive dissonance in me. And that's really frustrating because it's like I've done all this work and I know how I should feel and how I should act. And then there's this other little gremlin that's showing up. Well, and she's like, whose fucking hair is this? You know? And then he's like, I haven't cleaned my apartment in 1.5 years. And I'm like, well, now we have a bigger problem because even crackheads find brooms. Like, why have you not cleaned your apartment in 1.5 years?
I mean, the other thing that I'll say too is like that voice is only loud because you're not doing enough service work. And I've talked to you about this. Like, you need to be doing, when you are like,
Okay,
when,
but
I tell you a perfect example? Chris gets up the other morning.
Chris is your partner, not my ex-husband.
Chris is my fiance. Okay, I'm exhausted. I've worked a 60-hour week. I am so fatigued. I have to get the kids off to school. I didn't ask him for help. So he just gets up and goes to the gym in the morning. And I'm fucking fuming.
Mm-hmm.
I am fucking fuming. And I didn't wake up with enough time, which is whose fault? My fault.
Mm-hmm.
To do my reality checking 11th step in the morning, which is prayer and meditation, right? Until I could get grounded and get attuned with, and to get into that space of gratitude and to reset, right? Because how often do most of us wake up with stinking thinking, and just feeling like, oh my God, today's the day I'm going to get shanked in the street by the homeless person or whatever. That is how my brain, literally, that's how my brain, I will get in a car accident. Someone's going to stab me. What if this happens to my kids? There's a bomb that's going to hit. That's where my fucking brain, even after all these years, my brain often wakes up like that. And so it just builds. It builds all morning. We're late for school. I never get to the prayer and meditation. And I get in my car, and thank God, I had this moment where I was like, okay, I literally can't pray right now. And I literally can't surrender. So I'm just going to start calling my sponsees. And on the way to work, I called 3 women in the program that needed help. Sometimes I just call my dad. Yeah. Do I like listening to my 74-year-old father on the phone for 30 minutes at a time talking about the same thing that he talks about every single time? No, but I do that because it's being kind to him. Right. And this weird thing happens when I'm focused all of a sudden on supporting and helping other people is my brain starts to get really quiet. And the joy starts to return. And I feel, you said you deal with insecurity. I feel more confident because I just did something good for somebody. My brain starts to get a little bit softer and then I can, do more.
Okay. So you touched on something that I want to talk about because you said I need to get into service. So I'm dealing right now with the shame of not being fully sober. I did mushrooms. I've done low dose edibles. I'm not fully sober right now. So there's a lot of shame that comes with, I think, working the program and then not being in the program. And I don't know how to be of service when I'm still trying to circumvent that shame. Does that make sense? I'm how do I don't want to show up and lie. I don't want to talk to people and act like I'm in a place that I'm not in. So do you mean being of service in a strictly program related way or in just the world?
That's what works for me. I speak at least a meeting a week. I have at least 3 girls in the book at any given time, if not 4. And that's what I do. But I think just going and whatever. Okay, get rid of all of the stuff that I said about recovery groups. And if you go to any major religion, they're going to tell you the same thing. Prayer, meditation, get rid of selfishness or the ego, and be of service to other people. It is every major religion out there that tells you literally how to be happy. Yeah. It is human beings that complicate this thing, right? And so what I would tell you is I don't fucking care what you do. I just need you to find something.
She's just stop calling me. No, I'm just kidding.
I just need you to find something. Because I'll tell you, that's when... So right after my divorce or right after my separation, I got into a relationship with this guy who, looking back...
Hindsight 2020.
That was so sick.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see it. And he totally love bombed me, narcissistic traits, fucking total sex addict, was cheating on me through the whole relationship. And I was just no, I love you. I need you. It's okay. And I'm just going to be more sexy and more perfect. And I'm going to push you even harder. And I'm going to, live in this fantasy land of whatever. And it's interesting because you talked about how all of this stuff is coming up for you because you're in a relationship. Well, that was the same thing. I had been doing tons of work. Yeah. And all of this stuff was coming up in this relationship. The difference is that I knew it. And I walked from the relationship, thank God. When all of this came out, I made the decision to walk and to go no contact and to like move on and to, you know, work and heal around it. So thank God. But I just also want to say that I think it's fucking normal.
Yeah.
For you to have gone a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right now. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. We're too hard on ourselves. And I think that this is where like communication is key. It's like, hey, and I noticed that, I noticed this thing, this hair. I was trying to remember the example. I noticed this hair in your apartment. And
it was wrapped around the shower handle. I was like, who is she?
Yeah,
I was like, now I have her DNA.
That would have been really difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, so, especially because like I was with him. I went away for a weekend. I came back. It was wrapped around the shower handle. His apartment is very dirty. So I do believe him. Like, you know, sometimes too when you have that gut feeling, like something's really wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
Yeah. And I've always had that, and it's actually been wrong. And then I've had times where I'm like, everything's fine, and it's actually been fine. But
okay. All right. So it's
I
not
just
real.
want to say, no, well, here's the thing. You're powerless even if it was. And like, if the thing that is your biggest fear ends up happening, then like, that's not the relationship for you to be in anyway. All I'll tell you is this, like one of the things that's become abundantly clear to me, more so in my work in like sex and love addiction, is that like I am truly solely responsible for my side of the street. That's it. I am responsible for showing up as the best healed version of me. I'm responsible for doing the things that keep me that way. I'm responsible for communicating in a way that's effective, that's clear, that's kind, right? That's respectful. And I'm responsible for myself and knowing when to walk and when to leave. I am not responsible for him remaining faithful. I am or her. I'm not responsible for the way that they communicate. I am responsible for going, hey, the way that this person communicates is not working for me. And so I need to either politely move on or communicate that that's not working for me. And then it's that person's responsibility to decide to change or not.
But then this is where my people pleaser defect comes in, because my people pleaser defect, what it did to me in my first marriage was that anytime something was wrong, I just wouldn't say anything, and I would push it down until it turned into a divorce, literally. But I just never said anything. So he didn't know my needs weren't being met. And that is my default still, because I would so much rather my partner be happy than me be happy. Yeah. And that's really challenging.
Welcome to love addiction and codependency.
I know, but it's really, this relationship is really confronting for me, because he's very sensitive to my energy. He knows immediately when something's wrong. And if I try and say it's not, he literally is just like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Until we talk about it. And then by the time I talk about it, I have bigger feelings than I would have had if I would have just talked about it right when it happened. And he literally told me the other day, he's like, you need to be a better communicator. And I was like,
so what's your commitment to healing the maladaptive behavior?
None. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep bringing the fucking crazy.
Well, then you can keep expecting the crazy. And like, that's the thing that you said, like, oh, I'm so afraid of this relationship ending. But your fear, your subconscious fear, is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
So like, you can have a fear of losing this thing, and then subconsciously you will do everything to lose that thing.
No, I know.
And it will act out in real time. And so a pattern of behavior that's coming up for you is the people-pleasing behavior. You've done plenty of writing and work on this, right? And so it's like a practice literally of mindfulness or meditation, which literally like doesn't mean that you have to sit there and go, okay, what do I need to talk about today? Yeah. It's like, no, it's just like, oh, hey, something just came up for me. I felt that ping in my stomach. Usually, I don't know. For me, it's 100%. In my stomach.
Yes,
it's like, ooh, like I can't,
and then it grows. And then it grows.
Festers,
and then I'm like,
and crawls up my neck and into my head, and then I become
smoke
crazy.
Blows out my ears.
And so, like, at that moment, like, I'm not saying that that's the moment that you respond, but that's the moment that you clock to go, okay, What is that?
Okay, but my problem is the moment it happens, my energy changes. He feels it. I don't have the time. And it's like the restraint of pen and tongue is something that I do try to practice.
You do. This is true.
I really do try and
pause.
practice it. But if somebody's calling me out in the moment, I'm afraid I won't articulate it
Okay,
right.
but here's his part. Because it makes him anxious.
Yeah.
All right. So you're not responsible for his response to your feeling.
Right.
Again, you are responsible for your side of the street. He is responsible for his side of the street. Here's the thing that people don't realize is that the partners that we attract are mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
We are mirrors for each other. So your weak spots trigger his weak spots and vice versa,
mm-hmm.
right? And they can look different,
mm-hmm.
right? And so like for my current partner, Chris, like it was abundantly clear from the beginning of our relationship that he has avoidant tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if these weren't things that he was willing to even look at, this is not like a partnership I would be willing to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But he clearly said, like, there are times where I feel like I need to pull back. And I'm like, cool, then you just need to tell me, hey, I need a little space right now. But then my responsibility is that I give him the space and self-soothe myself, mm-hmm. right? And then when he's ready, he needs to come and soothe me
mm-hmm.
on the reciprocal end, mm-hmm. right? So here you have it. You're not responsible. You're having an immediate reaction. And if you're willing to share it, great. And if you need a minute, then you need to process it, which I always think is best because especially as women, we'll make a million stories right away. Mm-hmm. Like Chris going to the gym was, this is how it's always going to be. He doesn't respect. This weekend, he literally watched my kids all weekend while I was at a conference, went to Costco, cleaned out the fridge, did all of the laundry in the house without me even asking. Right. But this is how he's always going to be.
Right.
Fuck him.
God forbid he does a push-up. God forbid he needs to get some stress out.
And I'm like, he's been gone for an hour and a half. That little fuck.
Yeah.
What is he doing now?
What is he doing?
It's like, thank God I didn't call him.
Yeah.
And say, like, is this how it's always going to be?
Right.
Like, you know, and I would have done that in the past. Anyway, so you can just say, like, hey, I think it's wonderful that you can, like, sense a shift in me. I think that's actually, like, a really important thing in a relationship is that we are that attuned to each other's needs. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I just need a minute to pause so that way I can get clear on what my true feeling is. And I promise I can circle back for you. How would, 5 o'clock be? Mm-hmm. Or tomorrow morning at coffee.
Right.
Or whatever.
I'm just going to clip this and send it to
and then he has to respect that.
Yeah.
And say, okay, that, sooner would be better for me.
You guys, this episode is brought to you by Berber Hair Care. You guys, I'm so excited about Berber. I've never been more excited about a product in my life. For those of you who know me, you know I struggled when my hair extensions, listen, these are clip-ins, these are fine. They're not doing any damage, but the hair underneath is strong and healthy and we're coming back. We're not fully back, but we're getting back. Berber Hair Care, it's hair oil that you do twice a week. You dermaplane and then you put the hair oil on your scalp and then you put a little 2 drops in your hand for the rest of your hair. You brush it back in with the mermaid brush. The mermaid brush, they have a boar hair bristle brush that is unbelievable. Everything they sell is incredible. They have shampoo, they have conditioner, they have it all. But if you just get the dermaplaner and is that a word? Dermaplaner? Dermaplaner. Get a dermaplaner. Get a dermaplaner. Derma roller.
Derma roller. And I actually use Berber. It's fucking great.
Do you? Yeah. Berber's amazing. So use my code BRITT, BRITT at Berber.com. That's BURBUR.com for 15% off your first purchase and your hair will thank you. Okay, this episode is also brought to you by On the Lamb, A Life on the Lamb, you guys. They are my favorite bone broths. And I use their skincare. They have a bone marrow face fat. Is it called face fat? It's called fat face, not face fat. It's called fat face. And I use the bone marrow cream every single night. My skin is glowing every single morning. Will you smell a little bit like dog chow? Yeah, you will. But you're going to look like a baby. So it's totally worth it. The bone broth I love to just sip on throughout the day. It's packed with nutrients and vitamins and all the good stuff. They also have bone jelly, which 1 cup of that is 20 grams of protein. Really good for my girlies who are trying to get all of their protein in with their macros or whatever your lifestyle is. It's honestly just really good for you. There's a bunch of stuff on the site. Go to A Life on the Lamb, ALIFEONTHELAM.com and use BRITT Loves 10. It's BRITTLUVS 10 for 10% off your first order. There's also the Brittany bundle on the site, which is the fat face, whatever the fuck it's called. It's the lotion. That's perfect. It's great. I'm really great at ads. Nobody ever has any complaints about me ever. The buffalo bone broth, the bone jelly, and the fat face. Whatever. We're all gonna have fat faces. We're right. It's gonna be great. We're all gonna be shining and glowing from the inside out. Go to lifeonthelamb.com and use my code to get 10% off.
Chris and I got into a really large argument right after he moved into my place. Mm-hmm. This was last March. We'd been together for a little over a year, and that first couple of months there was like a ton of friction. Mm-hmm. And I remember I could sense that he was mad at me and I was mad at him in response, and we were like kind of tit for tatting over the weekend, Spider-Man whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing bad, nothing yelling, nothing screaming, nothing whatever. But I said to him, hey, why don't we circle back and talk about this in 3 days? Mm-hmm. And you know what? All of a sudden, the pressure left the room. Mm-hmm. And he kissed me on my forehead and gave me a hug and was like, I love that idea. Thank you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. We're all going to, I think that's the other thing that we're training our nervous systems to do is know that, it's okay to pause. It's okay if it's a day, 2 days, 3 days, where we circle back to a conversation. And the commitment that we're making to ourselves and to our partner is that we're going to do that. And I knew he wasn't going to bring it up. So guess what? 3 days later, I said, I would like to circle back to the conversation that we were having, whatever, on Thursday night. Let's do it.
I love that. You're just so wise.
You're
just such a wise owl.
I don't know. Life's really forced me to grow.
You got your teeth kicked in pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For a while.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, no regrets. I truly wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. I remember when I was, living in Wisconsin, I watched your show a little bit of it, caught a little bit of it. And I remember just thinking you were so hot and cool. And then I moved to LA. And right when I moved to LA, I remember seeing, and we can cut this if you want to, it doesn't have to stay in, a notification that you got arrested for heroin. Uh-huh. And I was like, no. I wouldn't even know where to find heroin. I was like, how'd she get it? Where am I going? But I remember being deeply sad because I think I saw this version of you on TV, and obviously TV's a lie and none of it's real. But I just remember thinking you were also on drugs then, but I thought you seemed really fucking cool. Mm-hmm. But what was that journey like for you? Because that's young. You were doing some hard shit pretty young. How did you get there?
Yeah, it was just purely survival. That's the thing. It's I've given you guys bits and pieces of my solution that keep me sane and calm and happy and living a good life. But prior to finding that, and it's the last almost 15 years of my recovery journey have been piecing together the things that work. I'm a huge proponent of internal family systems work. But back then it was just heroin. Yeah. That's literally how it was. You just said that.
I'm a huge proponent of heroin. But if that doesn't
and
work,
you know what? And for some people, I am. I get it. People see these people on the streets with that are knotted over on trank and stuff, and I'm like, no, I actually understand why they do that because I like to ride that line just above dead. If they're checking my pulse, I'm happy. That's where I should be. Because the thought or the desire to exist with you and to have conversations like this was non-existent.
Right.
Like there was times in my life where I felt motivated to try to change. I just never wanted to do what was actually required of me. Like I say all the time, I was totally desperate and completely unwilling to do what it actually took until I was literally mandated by the courts to do it.
Okay, you were forced. You didn't have like a come to Jesus. You were forced.
No, there's plenty of come to Jesuses along the way where I was like the biggest one of which was, I love this man. He died of addiction. But he was like a local LA rapper. His name was Cadillac Robert. Okay. I'm still friends with his brother, who's an amazing therapist, owns a program up in the Pacific Northwest. His name is Chris Paulson. But Robert Paulson like checked my ass so hard that I finally realized like, oh, it's not the drugs. It's not the abuse. It's not the parents. It's not the this. It's not the felonies. It's me. Like I'm the problem, you know, like, hello. And like, so there was moments along the way, but I was not going to stop until I was either institutionalized, you know, placed in jail or dead, you know, and that was fine with me.
Right.
And that worked. And until it didn't. And then, you know, I just by the grace of God, like I was arrested again.
Okay, so my question is, because there's been a lot of talk about God, and a lot of people like recoil at God.
I know.
And I remember when I first went into the program, I was one of those people that recoiled at it. I remember my first sponsor just said, if you can't wrap your head around it, just find something little that makes you believe in something bigger, like a lily or your dog or just anything. And that sort of like, that helped me get there. But what do you say to people who don't believe, won't believe, can't believe? Is there a way to find peace and serenity without God?
Well, I can tell you this, that like I don't believe in like major organized religion. So like I understand people's resistance. And like when I first got sober, I was like, if there is a God, then like I wouldn't have been sexually abused when I was 4 and throughout my whole childhood. And I wouldn't have been brought into this world by alcoholic parents. And you know, all of the reasons that I was looking. And I think that like the reality of the situation for me is that my circumstances were so desperate that I was kind of forced to try something new. And so if you're like in this place where you've tried therapy, you've tried self-help, you've tried the writing, you've tried the yoga retreats, you've tried, and like your patterns in relationships and your patterns with substance and your patterns with shopping and your patterns with sex or gaming or whatever, or gambling, whatever it might be, keep coming up over and over again and you don't seem to be able to fix them, then like in my experience, the only thing that's going to provide you relief is a spiritual experience. And so like I'm not here to actually tell anybody that like they have to find a God.
Right.
Like I don't fucking care. You can like stay on your path. Like that's cool with me.
Totally.
For me, like I more so align predominantly with like Buddhist thought and teaching. Same. I read a lot of that. I consume a lot of that. I believe I'm an avid meditator and I believe in a lot of the teachings and wisdom that comes through that philosophy. But I also believe that there is something out there and that we return to something. Yeah. And that's really, so I guess the bottom line for me is like on your own willpower, if you can be happy, if you can be successful, if you can maintain a job, if you can be have a healthy relationships with drugs, alcohol, you know, people, sex, money, you know, whatever it is, on your own willpower, and you don't have issues, then great. But if you can't do it on your own willpower, then welcome to the club, and maybe I might have a solution for you. Yeah. I'll also say that like my trajectory, like I didn't have this like profound. Like it wasn't until like my 3rd time going around the steps when I was so in such desperate condition, like post my divorce, that I redid a 3rd step, that I had a profound spiritual experience that broke, like as any experience that I've had doing shrooms, you know, acid, any like that. My first 2, and like I'm of the learning variety. Like I go out, assert my will, get knocked over the head, and realize that I should have brought God in. And then I bring God in a little bit more. And like the miracles just unfold. Like the fact that I'm sober, that I'm gainfully employed, that I have a savings account, a 401k, that like my rent is paid on time every month, that I own my car, that I'm like a mom to 2 kids that are at school on time and picked up on time and have their homework and they're fed and all. That's not me. Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's God working through you.
Yeah. And like every time that I think that I've had some like major problem, like, you know, if I had inserted my will, I know that I would have fucked myself. But if I had just done what God told me to do, you know what I mean? Like you've experienced that in your time working with me, where you're hitting the roadblocks, and I'm like, God's showing you, but you can keep powering through, girlfriend. Like as long as you want, you know, or you can just like let go.
Yeah. Let go and let God. I think my aha moment with it was I couldn't, like, when the first time I worked the steps, I got through 1, 2, 3, and I was just like the yeah steps. I'm like, whatever, I can't give these too much because, you know, the God thing was really throwing me off. But when you get to 4 is homework, right? That's homework, that's writing. I'm like, I can do that. And I remember I was doing my homework. I was doing my 4th step, and I was sitting in my place at the time was in Venice Beach, really busy, and the windows faced the boardwalk, and Biggie would always go crazy anytime anyone walked by, and I just watched him go crazy. I was sitting there writing, he's going crazy, he's and I thought to myself, I'm like, you can go crazy if you want, but you're safe. And then I was like, wait a minute, if you zoom out, that is how my higher power is looking at me. Like when I'm in traffic, flipping someone off, when I'm trying to orchestrate things to make, you know, like when I'm acting like Biggie's acting to this person who is causing him no harm and never will. I was like, yeah, there's no way that I'm the highest chain of intelligence because I'm not that smart.
I love that.
Yeah. So that was kind of my moment with it. And I never had to, you know, I grew up Catholic. So I had like this big condemning, judgmental God who like was watching me masturbate. And I didn't like that. You know, I was like, I don't want an audience. Yeah. But for so long, I was treated so cruel by the kids in Catholic school because my parents were getting divorced. And there was all this like a lot of shame and a lot of stigma around God. And my God now is just just peaceful. He doesn't even have a face. He's just there.
No, my God doesn't. When I explain it to people who like don't have any conception of God, I'm like, okay, what is the thing that proves that you're human? That you have a heartbeat, right? Okay. So you imagine like the heartbeat ticking, ticking, right? If you were in the hospital, it was on the machine. You could see it. Okay. I just imagine God is this infinite source of energy that's expansive in any and all directions. And like each human, literally they've scientifically proven this, that like the chance of you coming down here and having an experience is like less than 0.1%, right? So here's these humans that just drop down for a minute, right? We are like, here's God, this ever expansive energy on either side that's always going. And like we're just this little blip. And what happens, it's interesting because when we come all the way down and we're babies and we work our way back up to God, we just forget that we're a part of this.
Yes.
And then what happens if you have a practice of mindfulness and, you know, you live a peaceful life and you live life on life's terms and you let God or life teach you, is that you ascend in your consciousness closer and closer to this thing. And then eventually you go back to it. It's that fucking simple. Yeah. You have a consciousness. Yeah. It's a part of something.
Have you read Journey of Souls?
No.
Alexis, you have to read it. It's so special. I love a good book. It's so special. Okay. So this doctor, he's a PhD hypnotherapist, and he started doing hypnotherapy on people with PTSD and trauma who would come in with issues that they couldn't resolve going to a regular doctor. Like someone would come in with like immense pain in their back, and every doctor didn't know what it was, or they had trauma when they were younger but they can't quite remember it. So he would use hypnosis to go back to figure out what happened. And when he started doing this hypnosis and doing regression therapy, he realized he could go back beyond birth.
Oh yeah, I've done full blown past life regression.
And he could go beyond when they were born into their past lives. And so it was unanimous. He's done it hundreds, maybe thousands of times now, that everyone says the experience after death is, everyone says the same thing. It is a return to this really bright, like beyond any light you've ever seen, bright, peaceful, harmonious. It kind of sounds like a tuning fork. And you go back and you do it depends on what level your soul is at. But if you're like a beginner to an intermediate soul, you're greeted by family. Like friends and family will come get you and they take you to where you go. And then you look at your life and it's not like this shameful, like, how dare you? Did you do? It's more of like, did you learn the lessons that you went down there to learn? And then the more advanced souls, they don't get greeted because they just go back. But like you do get to a point, the point of the book is you get to a point where you don't have to reincarnate anymore, but it takes so much reincarnating to learn the lessons that your soul needs to learn.
Absolutely.
But I think it's a fascinating thing that all of these people have said the exact same thing. It's like, you don't have to believe in God, but there's something really, really big when you leave here. Yeah. And there's so many people that believe it's just lights out. And I wonder if that's just a belief out of fear.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know what to name it or what to call it. I mean, my grandpa died in February, and
I'm sorry.
He was like a father to me. Like he was the only male kind of presence in my life that provided me with any sort of kind of safety or stability, I guess. Like when I went to his house in Wisconsin in the summers, that's where I would feel safe, you know, and like my nervous system. It's interesting because every time I go back to Wisconsin, it's like my nervous system just, like, I'm like, okay.
You and I couldn't be more different.
I know,
every time I go back, I'm like,
but it's because of my childhood, right? Because out here in California, it was
your childhood.
And then when I go back there, I was like, whoa, okay, you know? And so this man who was very logical, who didn't believe in God, he was agnostic, and he was a professor, and he was Mr. Moneyman, and he was, as he began to slowly deteriorate over the course of a few years and soften and open and whatever, like, I know that, like, if you would have asked George Huber 10 years prior if he believed in a God, he would say, absolutely not. But George Huber, who's inching closer and closer towards death, who's having moments in and out of consciousness, who's absolutely did. Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Also, that's the thing too. It's like, again, like, I'm not for everybody. And like you know what I mean? Like I'm not here to tell, like, I think I spent a lot of time in my earlier years of recovery thinking that, like, I needed to be the director of everybody's show, and like they needed to get on the Alexis bandwagon and to do exactly what I'm doing. And like, I'm just not in that camp anymore. Like, if you, even with my sponsees, like, I will not call you.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
You call me, I'll call you. And then sometimes, like I told you the other day, I was having a really hard day and I was like, okay, God, who do I need to check in with? But like that, I'm not here to like crack the fucking whip and you need to do this thing and you know what I mean? Like, that's just not, I'm like, you're either motivated, inspired, and along for the journey and the ride, and you want my wisdom and you're going to follow my guidance. Not because I'm like supposed to be your higher power because this is what I did to get free, or you're not.
But that's what I love about you, because you're not super hardcore. And I think when because and I mean that as a compliment, like, I feel safe telling you when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel like because my experience with my first sponsors, when I decided to go do ayahuasca, which was after 3 years of being fully sober, she like laughed in my face and scoffed at me. And she's like, well, you're not sober. I'm not sponsoring you. You're not sober. And I remember being so offended because I had done so much work. And the reason I was going to do ayahuasca was to heal something major and profound, which, by the way, it did. Like, I went in to heal my mother wound. I'll talk about it on a different episode because it's too long, but like, I came out with so much empathy and love for my mom that I would have never otherwise had. But because she laughed in my face and told me I wasn't sober, I was like, well, then whatever. I'm just going to start like drinking weed drinks and like enjoying myself if I'm not sober anyway. And so I think that like big reaction kind of kicked up the defiant alcoholic in me that was laying dormant. And I think, and I've shared this with you. I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm also like, you're not my mom. I do consider you a friend, and I still like really value your guidance. And when I'm not practicing perfect AA sobriety, I think you're just a lot more gentle with me, and that I really appreciate that, because I do have a significant amount of shame about not being able to like stick to perfect sobriety.
Yeah. It's interesting because my partner Chris runs like a men's behavioral modification program, and like it's all about like what is called like, it's like a therapeutic community where like they all get called out on a regular basis, and like that works for some people. And like there are times where like I can hold someone to the fire. Like I have I'm case managing this young woman right now that's at a treatment center, and you know, and like she calls me every single weekend that she wants to leave, and I'm like, okay, then what? Like, what the fuck are you going to do with it? Like, there are times where I'm like, then what are you going to do with your life? Like, then what, then what, then what, then what?
Right.
But, like, I know that she wants it. You know what I mean? And, like, I think that just, like, checking yourself first, like, there are times you have to just know when to push and pull. You know what I mean? Like, I know that you want this thing, and I also know that, like, you also have to have your own path. Like, I'm not here to be to tell anybody what to do. I'm here to share my experience and to tell you, you know, if you ask, I'm going to give you what worked for me. But if you don't, then yeah, I can't be bothered. I don't have to, I have a hard enough time managing my own life.
I know.
I can't imagine managing the life of anybody else, literally.
Yeah.
You know?
So you brought up earlier the sexual assault from when you were younger.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into more detail about what happened. I don't think it's necessary, but I'm so grateful you brought that up, because I think it's such an important conversation that people just aren't having. I think there's so much stigma and shame, especially within family dynamics, about that. And my strong belief is that my mom was sexually abused as a child, and I think that triggered a lot of her mental illness. And I wonder, I don't know if you've given this any thought. This is more just something that I've thought about a lot. Like, what do you think the path forward in healing that part of our society is? It's such an invasive issue. It's I mean, honestly,
boys and girls, it's really everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's like if you got a room full of 10 people, I bet 4 to 6 of them would be affected by it. I'm sure there's an exact stat
and that
somewhere.
There's perpetrators in every single area that you're in. Like, that's how common it is. Like, they're literally
everywhere. Everywhere. But I'm like, how do we fix this problem if no one's willing to talk about it? And like, what really needs to happen is the abusers need to get help. So they stop abusing. It's like, of course, the people that are abused also need so much support. But like, because this sort of abuse is so frowned upon by our society, even though it's happening everywhere, pervasively all of the time, it's so frowned upon that I'm like, is there even help? Is there a support system for these people? Or are we like decades out of even being in a place as a society where we're willing to acknowledge it enough to have specialists that like work on this and help solve that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not an expert in this area. There's a really wonderful girl I'll connect you to. Her name is Marley Liss, and she was raped by a man up in Canada. And she basically went through this like reparative, restorative justice. He was a Native American male, I believe, and up there with the indigenous population, they have like their own path. And she decided not to go through the traditional justice system where she was seen as like a victim, but she wanted to become, she wanted to overcome this and to ensure that he did not cause harm again. And so I won't butcher the amazing works and writings and her personal story, but she comes to mind when I think about this. I think it all starts with children. Like, I just think, like, if we're going to change this next generation to not create perpetrators, like, we'd all have to make the decision to stop perpetrating, you know, like less than 1% of the male population are actual sociopaths. That's 1 in every like 100 men. And you're going, yeah, well, there's like billions of men, but of those, you know, that 1%, like, there's different, you know, there's a sliding scale of sociopathy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just think that, like, the world that we are operating in, it doesn't matter the culture, like whether it's here, if it's in India or whatever, it's like the conditions that we are operating in don't lead to positive outcomes in really any area. But I believe that when it comes to incest and sexual assault and sexual abuse, I think that education is key. I think that healthy family dynamics are key. I think that attentive parenting is key. I think that just, like, the systems, like, the more that we continue to live in a society of chronically stressed out, overworked, underpaid, starving people that are constantly blaming others for their problems rather than looking at who's actually creating their problems, which is, like, you know, we're looking left and right, but it's really up and down, right? It's like, it's just going to continue to happen.
It feels really dark. And I just feel like the mistreatment of children is what's wrong with the fabric of society, because we grow up and then we're acting out of all of those wounds for the rest of time. It's like we all just...
If we stopped all, like, literally the DSM-5, which is what we use to diagnose people with mental illness, it would cease to exist if we just stopped abusing one full generation of children. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. It would cease to exist.
But it's like the problem
we would not need it anymore.
The problem is it's not all. I mean, listen, there's a small percentage of people who are just born bad and they're bad.
Well, but let me just say this again. You're talking about the difference between, like, epigenetic, like, genetically you could be predisposed to bipolar disorder. Yes. But you still have to have an event that turns on the switch.
Right. No, but
right?
Whether
it's like a big trauma or usage of marijuana or whatever it is, like, it's dormant.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is we would have to have a generation of kids and then all the parents would have to leave.
That's mass suicide. I'm all for it. Just, like, get out. We would have to have
all these babies and then all the parents, because we're still, like, you and I are still fucked up. You know what I mean? But can I tell you,
that's the other thing too, is the pendulum can't swing that far either, because there's no such thing as a perfect parent either.
I understand that, but listen, we're not going to solve the world problems here today. But I'm just saying it's something that eats away at my heart, because I just am like, this is such a pervasive issue that people refuse to talk about. It's rarely talked about in Hollywood. People rarely have a touch point where they can...
How many people do you think turned off the episode the second I said that? Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, honestly,
because that's the truth. You want to know where my sex and love issues came from? It's like, thanks, Nick.
But it is... Literally.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks. Can you send me a check for all of the years of therapy now? No, I'm just kidding. Literally. I've forgiven you. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think it really hurts my heart and it breaks my heart. And I'm just so grateful that you are open and honest with us about it, because it is something that people need to hear so they don't feel so alone. And I think there's a handful of people that are going to hear it and turn it off because they're so triggered and they're still so scared and they haven't faced that part of themselves yet. But I think just we're just like creaking a tiny little door open that needs to be knocked down with the force of the military, because I just think this is such a huge thing that people don't talk about. We're too scared to talk about. I wasn't even comfortable saying that I'm still not comfortable saying that I was raped. Like, you know what I mean? For so long, I was like, that's not what happened. I was just drunk and I thought one guy was fucking me and it was someone else. It was fine. You know what I mean? And I was like retelling that story. My friend's like, you got raped. And I was like, easy, killer. Like, I just, I don't like that vocabulary, I think, but then I'm like willing to talk about other things that are horrific. So it's a weird it's a weird
we
thing
all
going
have our
on.
comfort level when it comes to trauma. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
some of us are okay talking about our moms killing themselves,
Right.
and some of us are okay about sucking
Yeah.
dick at 4. You
Yeah.
know, it's
And
like it just is what it is.
Different
It
strokes
is
for different
folks. 100%.
Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about. So there's this book, Crazy for You. Did you recommend this book to
No,
me?
my go-to is Facing Love Addiction.
Okay, that one by Pima, what's her name?
I can't remember.
Okay, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. So Crazy for You is the book about, it's a book about love addiction, which I recommend to anybody who might be struggling with it, because for me, it was like, I was reading it on a plane and I felt like she was writing just to me. Like, I was like, oh my God, I am not okay. So in the book, this is just paraphrasing, but it's like many people end up seeking in another person what they can't yet find or regulate within themselves, longing for love, validation, safety. And the longing can morph into patterns of repeated heartbreak, compulsive intimacy seeking, or staying in harmful relationships. I am curious. When does it all end? When's it all over? Because I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just such an exhausting thing. And I think so many of us, so I think love and sex addiction is probably the one that's like least diagnosed and least recognized, because we need love and companionship in life. And we don't realize we're acting addictively.
It's as difficult as treating an eating disorder. And if any clinicians who are listening to podcasts know, that's significantly more difficult to treat than addiction to substance or drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we need it. And
Yep.
it's like, I think, you know, after 3 years of being single and doing this work, I'm like, I love myself and I'm ready for a relationship and I'm whole and I'm good. And then I get into one and I'm like, like,
Yeah.
but it's not like, it's not as crazy as it used to be, but I am being reminded in the beginning of this relationship how crazy I was in my first one. In my first marriage. It's just like this, almost like you can feel whole and then you get into a relationship, and I'm talking mostly about myself here, but then all of a sudden you feel like you're not whole, and all of a sudden you feel like there's all these holes that need to be filled. And like, how do we love ourselves out of that?
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think it's necessarily about loving yourself. I know that you love yourself. I know that you care about yourself. I know that there's no part of you, when you actually ask yourself, that's wanting to give up on your needs to give somebody else theirs. Like, I know that that's not like there for you anymore. You know, like, I know that you have a layer of like consciousness around all of that, and that you're more self-aware now than you certainly were 3 years ago. But like, parts heal over time. It's not I do a lot of parts work with you, right? And like, that little girl that feels whatever is coming up, that younger part of you that's being really activated in the moment, is still there, just because she's being re-triggered in the moment. And so again, like, the work isn't to get rid of the younger part. The work is to soothe the younger part enough that she stops coming up. Right.
Okay,
to
so
try to protect you.
Yeah, I want to talk about this because this work has been so profound. So the work we do when I'm like, I want to reach out to, and this is, you know, a year ago, but whatever. This one guy that I wanted to reach out to all the time, and he didn't respond. I mean, I sent him 19 text messages, 14 nudes. He wasn't responding to me. I couldn't get enough of how much he hated me. And
by the way, there was nothing Alexis could have done to make her stop doing that.
No,
like,
no.
that's the thing. Like, everyone thinks like, oh, you have a sponsor, you're working a program. Like, why?
No.
There's
No.
There's
No,
no
there
amount
was-
of like telling her stop that
Yeah.
she's gonna listen to me. It's just like, okay, when are you desperate enough to?
But also,
to
he
do
didn't
the work?
block me.
Okay.
And also, he came back around for like 2 weeks.
He did eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And then he went back to being avoidant.
Yeah. No, but when we do this work where I'm like, I want to reach out to this person, I want to do da 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 da. Can you just talk everyone through the work that we do together? Because it has been so profound for me, and I want people to be able to try and do it to themselves if they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that anybody and everyone's capable of doing this. You know, it's just how willing you are to want to. And I think for you, you've always had profound experiences when I've taken you through these meditations, because you really have an honest desire to like heal the younger parts of you. So there's an amazing book on this. It's called Internal Family Systems by Dick Schwartz. I've had the honor of doing workshops of his, of seeing him speak multiple times. Over the course of my recovery, internal family systems has been a critical component of my healing. And so the concept is this, like, we all just think that we're one being, like you're just Brittany and I'm just Alexis. And the reality is that we're just a bunch of fragmented parts. We're not just one being that's present and existing right now in this moment. You are a sum of a multitude of parts, moments of profound joy in your life that shaped who you are, and moments of profound sadness or trauma. And most of us have this, these parts that get kind of off the track of, get separated from our nervous system and lodged into our psyche, and then what happens is that when a trigger happens, that part will come in and try to protect you, try to protect that younger version that got hurt so bad, right? And usually that happens in maladaptive behavior. And so the work is really profound because first we get to get really grounded. So we'll take a few really big, deep breaths, and I'll ask Brittany, like, can you sense just the two of us in this room right now? Like, can you feel my presence? Okay. And then I want you to start to become aware of your body. And I want you to scan your body. And if you can see when you're having this moment of, he's not texting me back, where do you feel that in your body? And she would maybe say in her stomach. And then I'd say, okay, can you bring your attention to your stomach? Yeah, everyone can do that, right? What's happening is really interesting. In that moment, your higher self, or your conscious mind, is present, witnessing a part of you that's really not present. So your higher self, or your God-connected self, is now witnessing a younger part of you. And so we'll explore it and we'll say, does this thing have an age? A lot of the time it'll tell you 6 or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever it is. It's like, okay, I want you to imagine that, well, first I try to see, some people have more ability to get deep than others. So I'll say, is there an image or a place or a time that you're seeing? Yes or no? Oh, it just looks like a big black mass that's flying. Some people have that, or some people are like, yeah, I'm 6. I'm in my grandpa's living room. He's screaming at me because I didn't finish my plate of food. He's flipping the plate in front of the TV. He's, and we'll have all of that. And it's like, okay, I just want you to go sit next to this energy, whether it's super clear or it's not, right? And then does it have anything that it needs to say to you? Can it first witness that you're there, that this calm, older presence that is you, that is it, is there, keeping it safe, When your partner is triggering you or whomever is triggering, you're not going to have time to do this full meditative experience, But you are able, over the period of time of doing this kind of work, able to go, ooh, that's that rebellious teenager that's 16 that's coming out and she wants to play right now. And you're able to bring your higher self to it and say, hey, for right now, I need you to calm down, but I will come back to you because I know what you have to say to me is important. And that is self-soothing. It's not ignoring the part. It is not just 3 deep breaths. It's like, no, I actually have to meet the part of me that wants to burn this motherfucker down and tell her I'm coming back, and I have to commit to coming back, right? And actually, like, having that part. And so what's beautiful is our nervous system is like, if you can imagine mosaic tiles, like all of the glass pieces. And in the 2.5 years that I was doing intensive IFS work, and through continuing to do it over the last 5 years, like, the mosaic tiles have come back piece by piece. And now I have like a beautiful stained glass window, right? The nervous system is collecting itself and the pieces aren't fragmented and all over the place. And sometimes they're a little bit slower to like get and stay into place, and that's okay.
Right.
But if you just keep doing the work and reminding your body, like, oh, we're actually safe. Oh, we're not dying. Oh, we're okay.
Yeah, it
Over
is
time,
one of
it
my
works.
favorite things to do in the moment when I'm feeling is to think, how old am I right now? what, because that really, for me, for some reason, I'm usually like 5 or 6, and there's this profound fear of abandonment. There's this profound fear of not being safe. There's just profound fear, and I'm usually quite young, and it's a bummer she keeps coming around, but it's like working on that part of myself and giving that part of myself love there's been a profound shift.
And like maybe like I can tell you that like I've had to revisit certain parts, like the big wounds, like 30-40 times before they fully felt safe.
Yeah, the edges round out.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being such a great friend and sponsor and just person. You are such a bright light, and I don't know. I just see you as such a profoundly different person than what the world knew you as, and I'm just so happy to have you in my life. So thank you for being here.
The feeling is mutual. Thank you, sweetie.
Do you want people to follow you on Instagram or no?
Sure. Give me a follow.
Give me a follow.
Follow my ass. It's Alexis Haines.
Alexis Haines. There it is. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, babe.
Bye. All right, you guys. We'll see you next week.